Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. I hope you were all able to get some of our lovely lunch provided by Lucy. And the baked apples, homemade. I have one on my desk waiting for me. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out. I want to thank you for coming today. This is a very special event. We're very excited to have Lucy joining us today. So for those of you who don't know Lucy, Lucy is a licensed acupuncturist. She is also board certified in integrative medicine. We are hopeful to have her join us throughout 2016 to share more information in integrative medicine, so that we can look forward to that on our calendar. And also, she is associated with Cedars-Sinai. She's an allied health professional for the medical center there at Cedars-Sinai. So she is a new friend of mine, but a longtime friend of the cancer support community. So I see many faces here that I know, and some new faces here as well. So I welcome all of you, and please give a warm welcome to Lucy Postolov.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hello and welcome and happy holidays.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank everybody in the cancer community, Bill, Jennifer, Julia, Shannon, and of course, Harold Benjamin, who was my good friend, for inviting me here, for introducing me to this wonderful group of people. I also want to thank everybody here who is fighting cancer, who is here to support the loved ones, who is in remission, who is in the middle of the treatment, because I'm going to be happy to talk to all of you today. Thank you so much for your battle with cancer. Now, every time when we're talking, we usually have to make sure that we are talking and that we are not selling anything. So it's kind of like a disclosure. But I have to tell you, my disclosure is I do have a very, very big personal interest in cancer. I cannot say that I'm here without any other thoughts. And my thoughts are the following. Cancer is in my family. My mom, my grandma. My grandma passed away at the age of 35 from breast cancer when my mom was 3 months old. My mom passed away at 62 from breast cancer. She was in Russia. She never had mammogram in her life. She came here and it was stage 4. And my husband of 33 years, a medical doctor, passed away 3.5 years from cancer. So cancer is something very important for me and something I fight with all my guts. And that's where my passion comes. That's why I do so much research, which is in the scope of my practice and out of scope of my practice. And you will ask, what are you doing? You're an acupuncturist, you're herbalist, why are you talking about nutrition? And the answer is because in Chinese medicine, we take a human body as a whole. We cannot really separate just your disease, because 30 to 50% of cancer, according to American Cancer Association, comes from wrong eating. That is why on every first visit with my patients, I talk about food. And today I'm going to share with you, let me ask you, how many people in this room heard me talking about healthy eating, food as a medicine? Okay, so just 4 people. So for those 4 who already heard me, forgive me, because I will repeat a little bit of that lecture, because there are a lot of people in this room who are new, and they may be going through chemoradiation, surgery. So some of my lecture will be a brief repetition of that information, and some of it will be just about holiday season. But I think for those who never heard me speaking about healthy eating during the treatment of chemo, it's very important. Yeah, everybody agree?
Yes.
Good. All right. Let's make sure I do it right. Yes, I did. All right, so preparing for this lecture, it was kind of a little bit hard for me because I want to keep a holiday spirit, and holiday spirit is fun. But for somebody who just had been diagnosed, let's say a week ago, and will go through chemoradiation surgery in the next month, it will be fun and not fun at the same time. But I want you to make sure that no matter where you are in your life, no matter where you are in your treatment, it's so important to enjoy the life. Life is short. And I just realized it when I lost my husband that we are spending so much time, so much energy, and worry about things which really do not matter. And that's why I say enjoy it. Have fun. Laugh. Enjoy your food. And it's okay to cheat sometimes. So I'm going to talk about healthy eating, but if you overate a little bit during the Thanksgiving, or you overeat a little bit during Christmas, Hanukkah, or New Year, it's okay. We cannot be clean all the time. I'm not purist. I cheat. Once in a while, I'm going to have white bread, which I don't have usually, or sugar, which I don't have usually, but once in a while it's okay. So you have my permission. And you know what? Average American is gaining between 7 to 9 pounds between Thanksgiving to New Year. That's the statistics. And that is very hard to lose. Oh, I did something wrong.
The other button does the other one.
I pressed this and I'm supposed to do like that. Oh, I'm glad that I took you here. Honestly, without Ron, nothing ever would happen because I'm totally computer illiterate.
Nice humor.
All right. This is one of my very favorite slides, and I can talk about it forever. And what it is the base of Chinese medicine, basically. Because in Chinese medicine, we believe that we have 3 things in life. Qing, this is this candle. The flame, which is qi, it's our energy, and the aura around it. Qing is what you got when you were born. You got your gene pool from Western point of view. From Chinese point of view, when the sperm of your dad and the egg of your mom met together, it was when yin and yang met each other. And that's what you're going to have for your lifetime. You will never have more or less of them. And if you burn your candle from both ends, your lifespan will be shorter. Now, what is qi? Qi is that flame. That's your energy. That's what makes you walk, talk, laugh, enjoy life. That's what makes your heart pump, your liver work. That is your qi. That is your vital energy. And what is this aura around you? It is your shen. It is your spirit. So I'm walking in this room and I have kind of spring in my walk and I'm laughing and I'm talking and you know, I have a good shen, I have a good spirit. Or somebody walks in the room and kind of looking at the floor and like the eyes are cloudy and there's no shen, there's no life. And you know that the person is depressed or very sad. And again, I've been in that place. And we're all sometimes there, but that's what we need to work in the harmony between our spirit, our energy, and our essence. And don't ever burn too much. There's a new article I read the other day about that lazy people live longer than active people and active people. And I don't know about it. I feel that everything should be in moderation. But what I see a lot with my cancer patients is that they're usually overachiever. They're overgiver. They're people who always do and succeed and take care of others. And usually they don't take care of themselves. I remember one patient once told me, you know what, I spent yesterday the whole day in bed, but it's okay, right? Because I'm like my third day after chemo, so it's all right. I said, you know what, you don't need my permission to spend the whole day in bed, especially after third day after chemo. And even if you're not after third day of chemo, if you're not in chemo at all, but you feel like do nothing and just spend the day in bed reading and having fun, it's okay too. Because once in a while, we all have low energy, and if your body demands to sleep or to rest, it's okay. Listen to your body, that's your guide. So it's okay to be lazy sometimes. My permission.
That's called burning a candle at both ends. I mean,
Yeah.
you use up the Shen too quickly.
It makes you use the jing, your essence. But since from your essence comes your chi, from your chi comes your shen, so you burn your life, basically, right?
Right.
Did everybody finish with the lunch? Because I would like, with this slide, to do something like a small meditation. And I would like everybody who is able to get up, to get up. And I'll tell you why I love this. Because we are all part of the big universe. And we are all connected. We're connected to Mother Earth, and that's our feminine energy. And we're connected to the heaven, to the sun, to the moon, to the stars. And that's a male energy. So very often I offer my patients when they feel scattered, not balanced, not grounded, to do this meditation. And you can do it just lying down in bed. You don't have to get up. Or you can do it the way we're going to do it now. And what we're going to do, we're going to raise our arms to the heaven. And we're going to imagine that we are a tree. And our legs and feet go deep into the earth with the deep, deep roots. And we are sucking in from Mother Earth wet, nurturing energy of Earth. And it goes to our center, to our belly button. And at the same time, when we do that, through our arms and hands and fingers, which is like branches of the tree, we're connecting with the heaven, with the sun, which is male energy, warm and hot. And we're bringing that male energy through our fingers, to our hands, to our arms, shoulder, and we're also connected at our belly button. So what we're doing right now, we're getting the energy of yin of the Mother Earth and the yang of the sun and heaven. We're bringing yin and yang to our belly button. We're grounding ourselves. And we are recharging ourselves. It's wonderful if you do it somewhere in nature, standing by the ocean or in the forest or in the field. But it's okay to do it in your bedroom, lying in bed, just imagining that you're bringing two most strong powers of the universe, the power of moon, sun, and Mother Earth together, and you bring it back, and then you collect it and bring it here, and you preserve it. So bringing your hands to your belly button, center yourself. And while you're doing it, don't forget to breathe, because the breathing is essential. We get our energy from two sources, the food we eat and the air we breathe. And now wake up, wash your hands, wash your face, and we're going to continue our lecture. How does it feel? Good, huh? I love it. I love this 3-minute meditation in the middle of my crazy day where I feel like, oh my God, I have to be in 5 places at the same time. And I say, okay, just collect yourself, just ground yourself. 3 minutes, done. I did the right part? All right. So I just mentioned during this meditation that the only way, like we have 2 types of energy when I was talking about yin essence. One which we got from our parents, and that is the energy which we cannot change. And it's called prenatal chi. But there is a postnatal chi, and that is the energy we can. And how do you change it? When you breathe the air, when you eat the right food, when you do acupuncture, when you have a massage, when you do tai chi, qigong, yoga, take herbs, take supplements, that's all the way to restore your energy. And it's very important. Now, if you're going to read this quote, and that's one of my very famous texts of Chinese medicine, it's over 3,000 years. We don't know, it's between 3,000 to 5,000 years. That's what I'm actually going to talk about today. If you notice, the food which we're serving today, Bill and I had a long conversation about what we're going to have for lunch. And I wanted this lunch to be very different because usually we order salads and wraps, but the winter time is not the time to eat raw food. So when I was talking to Bill, I said, Bill, let's do everything cooked. Let's do everything what is in season right now. And by the way, cookies there, it's not our plan. They had a party here, so that's why you have cookies. I baked apples yesterday until 11 o'clock at night. And that is my guilt-free dessert. And it's very simple. It took me 10 minutes to wash the apples, 1 hour to put it in the oven. I didn't do anything at that point. I was preparing for this lecture. And hour later, I took it out, and the recipe will be later on there. And just sprinkled it with pine nuts, with walnuts, with raspberries, blueberries, and pomegranate seeds. There is no oil, there is no water, there is no butter, there is no sugar, there is no honey, and there is no maple syrup, nothing.
No cinnamon.
You know what? Some people like it, some don't. So it is an option. You can do cinnamon. Yeah. Actually, in the winter time, cinnamon and ginger are very good. And I'll talk about it. Oh, I can go back.
Thank you.
By the way, if anybody wants the copy of the whole PowerPoint presentation, it's available for you. You're going to get my email and my phone call Ron. It's 33 slides, so I don't expect you all to write it down. We will be happy to email it to you, all 33 presentations, because a lot of recipes, I definitely will not go through every single recipe. How I'm doing on time? I'm probably already behind. Okay.
Thank you.
So basically, what it says that the time of the winter, it's time not to act too much. Because what do we do usually? We go to the parties, we drink champagne, we dress fancy, and we go out in the cold air. What we're supposed to do is to be at home by the fireplace, eat hot soups, drink hot tea, be with the family. Most animals hibernate in this time. And you know who lives longer than anybody else? Bears. Why? Because they sleep for 3 months at winter time. That's why they live so long. So don't waste your energy. Of course, I'm not saying don't go to the parties. I mean, holiday season, fun. But maybe instead of having cold champagne, have a glass of red wine because it's warming. Don't grab a salad. There is no salad today here for a reason. Don't do raw food. Do everything cooked. Okay, so I will not talk today at all about Western nutrition. everything I'm gonna talk about today will be about the food from the Chinese point of view, which is very different. And again, I'm not planning to educate everybody here in one of the most complicated philosophies of Chinese medicine, which is 5 elements, because if you will not stop me, I'm gonna talk 5 hours about it, non-stop. And Ron works with me for 20 years, and he said, 20 years I hear you talking about 5 elements, I still don't understand what it is. So he always tells me, stop talking about, can you take away this slide, hear it from all your presentations? I said, no, it's important for me, it's a base. So even if you will not understand it, it gives you the foundation. So if you don't understand, it's fine. But again, from Chinese point of view, we have 5 elements. There is fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And every element will have the organs which is connected and channel which is connected to those 5 elements. For fire, it will be heart and small intestine. For earth, it's spleen and stomach. Metal is lung, large intestine. Water, kidney and bladder. And wood is liver and gallbladder. So whenever I diagnose a patient and I check the pulse on 12 different positions and I check the tongue, that's for me is the base of diagnosis. So if I see that your kidney is low, I know that your adrenals are low. If I'm checking and I see extra pulse on the lung, I know it's a lung cancer. If I see the liver being like very kind of again doubled, I know there is a problem in the breast. So for me, it is so important. And very often I'm going to see a patient, I will not tell a patient, of course, what I see. Sometimes I'll say, I want you to go and do MRI of your abdominal. And the doctor calls me and tells me, why did you request that? I said, just humor me, do it. He said, you know, I don't believe in your diagnostic tools. Give me a reason. Give me something so I can do it. I said, okay, liver. I want the liver. Just don't do anything, do liver. He calls me 3 days later and says, how did you know? I said, how did I know what? Patient has cancer in the liver. I said, if I'm going to start explaining you, you're going to laugh at me. So just trust me next time. And according to these 5 elements theory, you're going to see how our emotions, our organs, our energy, all functions of our body are absolutely connected. Why? I think if you don't want to know anything about 5 elements, that's what you still want to know. Because we have the food also divided by temperature, and depending on what type of treatment you are. For example, if you are doing chemo is cold in nature. Okay? So when you have a cold treatment, you want to have everything what is warm or hot. If you're having radiation, which is hot in nature, you want the food, which is cold or cool, because you want balance everything. But it also comes with the weather. We are right now in a cold weather. So if you're in a cold weather, what do you want to do? You want all the warm and hot foods. And that's why I say don't eat raw salads because they're cold. Eat soups with bones. Have a hot tea. Have a hot drink. And that's like, if anything you want to carry away from this slide, that will be enough for me.
Can I ask a question now?
Yeah.
Just about cheese and dairy. Goat cheese versus, how about sheep's cheese? Sheep's milk cheese?
Yeah, sheep and goat are okay. Cow milk is not okay. Because from Chinese point of view, and we knew it like I lived 1,000 years ago in the last previous lifetime. We knew that goat cheese is okay and cow cheese is not okay. And remember before we had children formula, baby formulas, if the mother didn't have the milk, and she couldn't find the nurse, she would give a goat milk to the baby, but not cow milk. Cow milk would kill the child. Goat milk is a substitute for breast milk. So what I always tell the patient with cancer, stop cow milk products completely. Go to goat and sheep milk. That is okay. And it's a good source of calcium. And it doesn't create the mucus in your system. And there are a lot of work right now. You probably heard about 3 weeks ago that National Institute of Health and World Health Organization came up with a statement about beef being cancerogenous.
Yeah.
We also in Chinese medicine think that you should avoid red meat. But it doesn't mean not to eat it at all. Because if you're anemic, no matter how much iron you take, how much spinach you take, red meat is still the quick fix. And sometimes I like patients to eat the soup with the bone marrow.
Yeah.
Because it is the good source for your leukocytes, white blood cells, and red blood cells. So once in a while, having a soup with the bone marrow is totally okay. I'm gonna talk about soups more. So there is more food here, depending on if you are in cold season, if you're in cold treatment, or you're in warm treatment. Why is this slide so important? We're talking about 5 elements and 5 flavors, because depending on your condition, you will want to avoid certain types of food. For example, people who have cancer and they have metastatic cancer, they don't want to eat spicy food because spicy food is dispersing your energy, so you don't want to do that. Why it is important to know about bitter food? Because a lot of bitter food will help you with digestion. For example, aloe vera, which is very bitter, will help you to have the regular stool.
How about the sauerkraut, kimchi?
Exactly. Same thing for digestion. Good question. Sweet food. I mean, of course, we're telling you not to eat the sugar, right? But again, certain types of sweets will be okay, like vegetables and fruits are still going to be okay. In the winter time, I want it to be cooked. Like you have everything today steamed and baked. Sour is very good to control your nausea. That's why I always tell my patients to have lemon water. I also want to say that I personally believe in alkaline water. There are a lot of controversy about it, but you probably noticed that I drink only alkaline water because we want to avoid pH, which is acidic. And there are a lot of arguments about it, that the nature of the stomach is acidic, so as soon as we take alkaline water, it neutralizes. But you want to drink as much alkaline food and drinks as possible. That's my theory, and I stand strongly for that. And salty food is very good to, especially seaweed. I love seaweed for cancer patients because it disperses the nodules. Nodules.
Is the actual tumor nodules?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why seaweed is very important. And that's why in Japan and in China, where they use seaweed a lot, they have less cancer than we have here.
Until they started having McDonald's.
Well, the new generation, I mean, China becomes actually one of the fattest generations right now. You're absolutely right.
It's terrible.
So, what is cancer from Chinese point of view? It is basically the stagnation of qi, blood, mucus, fluid, and heat. And we want all this stuff to be dissolved. And like I said, 30 to 50% of cancer comes from wrong food. And it is always the failure of immune system, because as we sit right now, everyone in this room generates a cancer cell. But if our immune system is strong, and there is a cancer cell, our immune system grabs it and destroys it. But if the immune system is weak, we see this cancer cell as our cell. So we don't discard it, we don't destroy it. We allow that cell to multiply and create a disaster. And usually it takes a long time between that one cell becomes 2 cells to 3 cells. There are a lot of studies about it. They say the latent period sometimes could be like from few months to few years. You need the second mutation to make it happen. So our goal to make our body very unfavorable environment to cancer cells to grow. And food is one of the things to do it. Exercise, meditation, breathing. I mean, yes, we're all genetically predisposed to something, but we need a second mutation to happen. I most likely come from a family, I never did genetic testing, but because my mom and grandma died from it, most likely I do carry the gene. I refuse to know, and it's my opinion. I don't say that everybody should do the same. But I say, as far as I can, I'm gonna do yearly testing, mammograms, MRIs, ultrasound, and I'm gonna eat right, and I will exercise, and I will meditate, and I will try to avoid stress, which is, of course, not always possible. Okay, so before surgery, that's the food which I usually recommend my patients to eat before the surgeries. Why? Because I want to clean them, basically, and go as toxins-free as possible. And that's why I recommend certain types of juice. I'm gonna talk more about juices and blends and smoothies later on. Last time I spoke about it, it created so much interest that I actually dedicated 2 or 3 slides just to my special blends. And mushroom soup. They did a lot of research and they found that mushrooms have a great anti-cancer effect. And depending on what kind of cancer, you actually can change the mushrooms. Overall, miyake, shiitake mushrooms are very good, but there are others. Like my brother was diagnosed with sarcoma, and for his type of sarcoma, I did the study. He needs actually the chaga mushroom, which grows in Russia on a birch tree. Can you believe it?
What about reishi?
Reishi is good for most types of cancer. I love reishi, yeah. So after surgery, I always recommend patients to have chicken soup or fish soup. That is my favorite because nothing better restores your energy as a chicken soup or fish soup, but they have to be cooked with bones. I was a witness of a very interesting purchase the other day. I was in Whole Foods waiting to buy the duck for the holidays, and in front of me was a Chinese lady, and she was buying, and she said, you know, I'm gonna be here for a long time. If you're in a hurry, maybe you want to go to another salesperson. I said, no, I'm okay. And I enjoyed watching her. So what she was buying 4 pounds of chicken wings, 4 pounds of chicken legs, 4 pounds of chicken, how you call it?
Thighs.
No,
Gizzard?
hands,
Feet.
feet, yeah. Like everything with the bones and everything with 4 pounds and everything, and I was standing there and said, interesting, I'm sure somebody in her family right now goes through the surgery and she is making the soup with bones because she didn't buy anything filet or white meat. Everything she was buying was with bones because that's where you get your bone marrow stuff. Usually when I make chicken soup, I just buy the whole chicken, I peel out the skin, and I cut the chicken in 4 parts, and I cook it whole. So I'm getting everything from a chicken.